Welcome you all to this third video on the last lesson. In the previous video we found that M. Hamel had announced that he was going to teach the last lesson in French. And previous to that we found the narrator of the story, Franz. He was wondering, seeing the changes in the classroom, changes in the behavior of the teacher, changes in the dress of the teacher, and also when he found that the last benches were occupied by the village people, he was wondering what is the matter today? Why is it so strange in the school today? That's why he was wondering. At that time, M. Hamel made the announcement that today I am going to teach you the last French lesson. And let us see how Franz reacted to this, how the people felt about it. Let us see the next sentence. What a thunderclap these words were to me. Thunderclap, you know, when during rain sometimes there is lightning in the sky, and immediately after lightning there is the thunderclap. There is a thundering sound. This thundering sound is shocking. It is something very terrific. And here Franz said that when M. Hamel declared that it was the last French lesson, he was taking his last French lesson, these people will no more get any chance to learn their own language. Franz said that these words were just like a thunderclap. It was so shocking and terrific for him. Oh, the wretches, that was what they had put up at the town hall. Wretch, W-R-E-T-C-H, wretch. W-R-E-T-C-H, wretch, it means unfortunate or poor fellows. Unfortunate, poor people. If you talk about some people in a derogatory way, for example, you do not love those, you want to show your disrespect and anger for them, this is how you can say. You can use the word wretch to some people against whom you have you have annoyance, you do not love them, you have reasons to disrespect them. Franz was not at all happy with those people who have captured their land. So when he says, oh, the wretches, he means the occupying nation, the Prussians. That was what they had put up at the town hall. Now he realizes that while coming, he found in front of the bulletin board there were people, and there was some news, definitely some breaking news. So he now realized that it was this very news, that this land will no more have the opportunity to teach French to their own people. That is the news, and that's why there are people, and that is what these wretches, the Prussians, have done to us. See, now he started repenting. My last French lesson. Why? I hardly knew how to write. I should never learn anymore. I must stop there then. Oh, how sorry I was for not learning my lessons, for seeking birds' eggs, or going sliding on the sand. My books that had seemed such a nuisance a while ago, so heavy to carry. My grammar and my history of the saints were old friends now that I couldn't give up. And M. Hamel too, the idea that he was going away, that I should never see him again, made me forget all about his ruler and how cranky he was. This is the repentance, this is the saddest part of the story. Franz is saying that, oh, with this declaration that this is the last French lesson, tomorrow a new teacher will come who will teach us German. This is the last French lesson. Why? I hardly knew how to write. I have not yet learned my own language. I should never learn anymore. I must stop there then. These are the questions he is asking himself, and he is shocked, he is restless, he is upset, thinking all these things. Oh, how sorry I was for not learning my lessons. For seeking birds' eggs. Instead of learning his lessons, instead of coming to school, we found at the beginning of the lesson that he wanted to run away because he was late, he did not prepare his homework, and the atmosphere outside was very nice. This was his habit, he was an irregular boy, but now he says that I wasted my time, I did not go to school, I would seek birds' eggs. It means he would go to forest, jungle, he would roam about here and there, he would make adventurous trips, and he would seek birds' eggs in trees, or going sliding on the sand. Slide, you know, slide. Slide, the word is very common. You can open or close a door by sliding, taking this way or that way, to the right or to the left. And in mobile phone also you have slide. It means you can see a picture by sliding, right or left. Here sliding means it is a kind of adventurous activity. You must have noticed that during the winter season when the water level goes down, so in the river or in the pond you can go and you can allow yourself to go from the top sliding to the water level, and then you come back again, you go again. This is called sliding. It's a game. It's funny. So he said that instead of going to school, I would seek birds' eggs in the forest, or I would go and slide on the Sar. This Sar, S-A-A-R, Sar. This is the name of the river. Then the question, name the river mentioned in the last lesson. It is the Sar. So I went to the Sar river and slide. These were the ways in which I wasted my time. Now he says my books that have seemed such a nuisance. Nuisance means disturbance. Nuisance. All the books for an irregular student, books are something that he doesn't love. It's a disturbance. So he says that still a while ago I thought my books were all disturbance. They were a nuisance. So heavy to carry. Books seem to be really very heavy to carry. My grammar and my history of the saints. He's talking about different types of books that he has. And he said all were all old friends now that I couldn't give up. Immediately now the change is there. Still a while ago he thought all his books were a nuisance. They were very heavy to carry. And now these books have become his old friends and he cannot give them out. And M. Hamel, what about the teacher then? There is a change in his mind about the teacher also. And M. Hamel too, the idea that he was going away, that I should never see him again. This man is going away forever. I will never see him again. I did not ever love this man. I did not ever like him because he was cranky. He was whimsical. He was very strict. And he used to use his cane, his stick on us, to punish us. But I have immediately forgotten about his cranky nature, about the use of his stick on us. I just have started feeling sad that this man will live forever, that I will never see this man again. Poor man, this word poor, the word poor has doesn't mean only that financially you are not stable, that you do not have money, enough money, you are poor. No. The word poor is often used to mean someone who is unfortunate, an unfortunate fellow, that is also a poor man. Poor man, by this, Franz means his teacher and Hamel. This man is unfortunate, is unlucky. Poor man, it was in honor of this last lesson that he had put on his fine Sunday clothes. Now Franz realizes why M. Hamel has put on the special dress, the kind of dress that he uses only on special occasions like prize distribution ceremony or inspection days. This particular dress he has put on today just because he wanted to show respect to his language and his country, because after today this land will get a new identity, the students will get a new teacher to teach them German. So this is a very sad event. That's why M. Hamel has put on his special dress, his fine Sunday clothes. And now I understood why the old men of the villages were sitting there in the back of the room. All the things are clear now. Why M. Hamel was wearing special dress, why there was a crowd in front of the bulletin board, why these villagers have come, all the things are clear to Franz now. It was because they were sorry too, that they had not gone to school more. Now Franz realizes this old men, they also have realized that we also in our childhood, we did not study sincerely, we did not learn our language well. Now even our children will not be able to learn it. We have lost our identity, we have lost our opportunity. So these people are also very sorry and they have also come, that's why they express their sorrow. It was their way of thanking our master means teacher, for his 40 years of faithful service. This man has taught for long 40 years. 40 years is a very long period. It's more than half of one's age, an average man's age. So this man has taught here for long 40 years and suddenly his service here has come to an end and the villagers have come to show respect to this man for his long 40 years of faithful service, and the villagers have also come for showing their respect for the country that was theirs no more. This country is no more their country. This country was a part of France, but now it has become a part of Germany. It is occupied by Germany. So this land of theirs is no more their land because it is become a part of Germany. These people, they think France is there in their heart. They are Frenchmen, but the land has got a new identity. It has become a part of Germany. So this land is no more their own land. This teacher is going to leave them after 40 long years of his service to show respect to the teacher, to show respect to their land they have assembled here. While I was thinking of all this, I heard my name called. And Franz was thinking about all the things, why these changes, why this strangeness today, why these people have come, they are occupying the last benches, why the teacher is wearing the special dress. While he was thinking about all these things, he heard his name being called. M. Hamel used Franz's name. Franz, he called. it was my turn to recite this homework. See the teacher. Such a historic day, it is such a sad day in the history of the people, such a tragic day today. But I am so dedicated and so sincere he is that even he is doing his teaching today also. Anyone else would have just started showing demonstration or taking a procession or doing any other activity, but see, the teacher is still teaching on the very last, so tragic time it is, so tragic moment it is, but the teacher is teaching. It was Franz's turn to recite the rule of participles, his home assignment. Now he is saying, what would I not have given to be able to say? See the expression. What would I not have given to be able to say? It means what will happen if I fail to do? What will happen if I cannot do? Cannot do what? That dreadful rule for participles. Dread, what dread you already got, dread means fear, and dreadful means fearful. Rule of participles is something very, very difficult for Franz. He did not learn his homework. If you do not learn a thing, it will remain difficult for you. So Franz is now, he is thinking, what will happen if I fail to tell the terrific, that fearful rule of participles all through? The teacher wants that you should tell the homework very smoothly, very loud and clear. The teacher wants that we should tell our homework very loudly, very clearly, and without one single mistake. But can I do it? If I cannot do it, what will happen? These were the questions in his mind. And then what happened? But I got mixed up on the first words. The very first word he just pronounced, he just spoke, and then he could not go further. So much nervous he was, even he didn't know it, he didn't learn it, he told it earlier, and stood there holding on to my desk. Hold on to, which means to get fixed. His body became fixed with the desk, he could not move, which means he became stand still, so nervous, so fearful he became. Holding on to my desk, my heart beating, there is heartbeat increased, and not daring to look up. He could not even have the courage to look and see the teacher's face, because he was just thinking what is going to happen to me. On the one hand, it is a tragic day, and then he did not learn his homework. Again, the teacher has asked him also. He was the first one to tell the homework, and he could not even tell the second word. He was lost, and now he is just afraid, and he could not even have the courage to look at the teacher's face. I heard Emmanuel say to me, I won't scold you, little Franz. You must feel bad enough. See how it is. Every day we have said to ourselves, bah, I have plenty of time. I'll learn it tomorrow. And now you see where we have come out. Ah, that's the trouble, that's the great trouble with Alsace. She puts off learning till tomorrow. And now he did not scold. He knows it very well that everybody is sad today. This boy is also feeling very sad. That's why Emmanuel said, I'm not going to scold you today. I know you also feel bad today. And how it happened? Every day we told ourselves that I have enough time, I'll learn it later. And that is how we have now reached this place. And he said, that's the great trouble with Alsace. The question comes, what is the great trouble with Alsace? That's the great trouble with Alsace. That the MML said that the people of Alsace, they always postpone things. They do not do things on time. And here, she puts off learning. Put off means to postpone. Put off means to postpone. Postpone means to postpone. It means to defer. To say, okay, I'll do it later. To procrastinate, the same meaning. And she puts off, she does not mean a woman. She is used to mean the people of Alsace. People of Alsace, and Alsace is a place, and by she it means people of Alsace, they put off learning till tomorrow. Now these fellows out there will have the right to say to you, how is it you pretend to be Frenchman and yet you can neither speak nor write your own language? And Muhammad is telling his students that what will happen now? People of this land always postpone learning. They did not learn things on time. And as a result, what happened is that they have not learned their own language. And from tomorrow, there will be no opportunity. The new occupying country, Russia, they are going to use their language. They are going to impose their language on our people. Our children will not have the right to learn their own language. Our children will be compelled to learn the language of the occupying nation, the German language. And people, these fellows out, now How is it those fellows out there means those people, it means by this the teacher means to say those people out there, the Germans, they will now tell you, oh, you seem to be Frenchmen and you can neither speak nor write your own language. What kind of Frenchman you are? So you will be ashamed of yourself then. And who has made this situation? It is we people, the people of this land. But you are not worst, poor little France. We have all, you are not the worst, poor little France. We have all a great deal to reproach ourselves with. Mr. M. Hamel said that you are not the only one. You as a student are not the only one who is responsible for this. I am not blaming you alone. We, he said we, it means M. Hamel considers himself responsible, he considers the guardians responsible. At the beginning of this lesson, I told you that who are responsible when teaching learning does not take place properly. One blames the other, but the fact is that it is like a triangle. Teachers, students and guardians, all three should come together. There should be a coordination, there should be a support between these three. Teachers should teach nicely, properly. Students should come up for learning, they should be sincere. Parents should support, they should monitor students learning at home. If parents say, what can I do? I have spent money, I have purchased a mobile for him. That will not work. So everybody has their own role to play. M. Hamel is saying that you as a student, you are not the only one who is liable. We have all a great deal to reproach ourselves with. Reproach ourselves means to blame ourselves. Yes, I am also responsible. Your parents are also responsible. We all are responsible. We have to blame ourselves. We have to find it out. Now he is giving examples. He is saying, your parents were not anxious enough. Anxious means concerned. Your parents were not anxious enough to have you learn. Your parents did not seriously about want that you people should learn. What did they do then? Instead of being serious about your learning, they preferred to put you to work on a farm or at the mills. They wanted you to earn some more money. They sent you to some factory, to some mill, so that you can earn some more money and you can help them in supporting the family. So their chief concern should have been your study, but no, they wanted you to go to farm and earn money. That's why your parents are responsible. And what about me? He is now telling about himself. And I have been to blame also. Have I not often sent you to water my flowers instead of learning your lessons? The word water is used here as a verb. Water is used here as a verb. What this means? Water as a verb means to sprinkle water or to give water. For example, you have some garden, you have planted some vegetables. Sometimes you have to give water. These plants need water. So when you put water in the ground, on the root of the plant, you are watering. The word water is used here as a verb, and M. Hamel is blaming himself that whenever he sent his students to water his plant, at that time he wasted their time which they could have utilized for learning lessons. Even secondly, he is blaming him again. He is saying that, and when I wanted to go fishing, did I not give you a holiday? See the use of the word fishing. When I wanted to go fishing. When you go to catch fishes, you go fishing. When you go to market to purchase things, you go shopping. So we go shopping, we go fishing. Don't use pronoun here. Sorry, don't use preposition here. Go fishing, go shopping. It is not go for shopping or go for fishing. Remember, M. Hamel is saying, whenever I wanted to go fishing, did I not give you a holiday? When I wanted to go fishing, at that time I took the opportunity. I told you, go home, school chutti, go home, no learning today. In this way, I also did not do my things sincerely. M. Hamel is blaming all the three types of people who are responsible for making teaching learning successful: teachers, students and parents. Parents were not serious about the children's learning. They gave more importance to earning money. They sent these small children to a factory or to a farm to earn more money. They did not pay much attention to the learning of the children. The children did not sincerely come to school, and they were casual about it. The teacher himself is saying he also wanted to make them water his plants, or he gave them a holiday whenever he wanted to go fishing. This is how we know that for teaching learning to be successful, all the three components, teachers, students and guardians, should come together. This is quite relevant, relevant everywhere, not only in case of France or in case of France and his school teacher. It is relevant everywhere, in every country, for every teacher, for every student, for a teaching learning process anywhere in the world, in every age. These three types of people should unitedly work for teaching learning to be successful. We will see more things to happen in the coming part. In the coming video, we will see what next comes, what MML does next, and for that we will have to wait for the next video. We are ending this video here, and we wish to meet you soon in the next video. Thank you very much for being with me.